At the Jordan, delight was spoken before any work was named. The heavens were torn, the Spirit descended, and Abba said, "You are my Son, the Beloved. In you I delight." Now the same Spirit moves again, but this time the movement is not descent from heaven, it is driving into the desert. Mark records it in a single breath. «Καηωθούς το πνεύμα αυτόν εκβάλλει εις τεν έρημον». And immediately the Spirit drives him out into the wilderness. Mark gives the wilderness 2 verses, no dialogue, no 3 temptations, no quoted Torah. Only, driven out, 40 days, tempted by Satan, among the wild beasts, and the angels ministering to him. The verb is ekbalo, the same word Mark will use for casting out demons and for the temple authorities throwing people out. The Spirit does not gently lead, the Spirit drives. The beloved Son is cast into the desert as his first act of vocation. Matthew and Luke will open the scene into 3 movements, but Mark's compression carries its own weight. The wilderness is not a classroom. It is a place where the Son is stripped to what the voice at the river named. Matthew and Luke open the 40 days into 3 encounters. The first begins with hunger. After fasting, Yeshua is famished. The tempter approaches with a conditional that echoes the voice at the Jordan. «Η χιχιός ei του Θεού». If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become bread. The temptation is not gluttony. It is provision without trust. Use your sonship to bypass hunger. Turn the desert into a bakery. Prove that the voice at the river was real by making the stones obey you. Yeshua answers with Torah, not a new word, but the word Israel was meant to learn in their own wilderness. Lo al halechem levado, yichech Adam. Not by bread alone does man live. Deuteronomy 8:3 continues, but by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. Israel learned this in their own 40 years. Manna, quail, water from rock. Provision came as gift, not as product. The Son who was named Beloved now lives as Israel's faithful Son, receiving, not manufacturing. Hunger is real. The stones are real. But sonship is not a tool for bypassing the human condition. It is the ground from which trust grows. The second temptation moves from the desert floor to the highest point in Jerusalem. Matthew places the tempter at the pinnacle of the temple, the pterigion, the small wing or parapet at the edge of the great height. The tempter approaches with a conditional, «Εάν χιχιός ei του Θεού, βάλε σε αυτόν κάτω». If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. The tempter quotes scripture too, Psalm 91, 11-12. He will command his angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up. The attack is not on hunger now, but on proof. Force God's hand. Make the angels perform. Turn sonship into a spectacle that compels belief. Yeshua answers again with Deuteronomy. Lo tnasu et Adonai Eloheichem. You shall not test the Lord your God. At Massa, Israel tested God by demanding water as proof of his presence. The Son refuses to repeat that pattern. Trust does not manufacture evidence. The Beloved does not leap from heights to force the Father's hand. Sonship rests in communion, not in demonstration. The temple stands behind him. The angels are real, but faith does not jump to prove that God is there. The third temptation leaves Jerusalem for a high mountain. Luke places it second, Matthew places it third. The order may reflect each witness's theological emphasis. The content is the same. The tempter shows the kingdoms of the world and their glory. «Σοϊδώσω την εξουσίαν ταύτην άπασαν. All this I will give you if you will worship me». The temptation is not evil in the abstract. It is dominion without the cross. Receive the kingdoms now, bypass the suffering, take the throne without the descent. The voice at the river named him son and servant. The tempter offers him king without the servant's path. Yeshua answers a third time with Deuteronomy, Et Adonai Elohecha tira ve'oto ta'abod. The Lord your God you shall fear, and Him you shall serve. Worship belongs to God alone. The kingdoms will come, but as gift, not as bargain. The Son who was named Beloved will receive all authority, but through the path the Father has set: descent, service, cross, resurrection. Not through a shortcut that trades worship for power. The three temptations form a single arc: provision without trust, proof without faith, power without the cross. Each one attacks the vocation spoken at the Jordan. Each one is answered with the Torah Israel was meant to carry. Notice what Yeshua does not quote. He does not cite a new revelation, a private word, or a heavenly vision. He quotes Deuteronomy, the book that remembers Israel's own wilderness failures. Israel grumbled for bread and received manna with complaint. Israel tested God at Massach and demanded proof. Israel worshipped the golden calf while Moses was on the mountain. The Son stands in the same desert, faces the same temptations, and answers with the very words Israel could not live. He is not a second Moses. He is Israel's true Son, the one in whom Israel's vocation is finally lived faithfully. The solidarity begun at the Jordan deepens here. He shares not only the people's water, but the people's desert. And where they fell, he stands. Mark alone adds two details that Matthew and Luke omit: the wild beasts and the ministering angels. Cain μετά των θηρίων, and he was with the wild beasts. The wild beasts place the wilderness at creation's edge, the place before domestication, before the God's order held. Yeshua is not in a managed park, but in the raw margin where creation meets chaos. Some hear in this an echo of Isaiah's peaceable kingdom, the wolf and the lamb, the lion eating straw. Others hear simply the danger of the desert: scorpions, snakes, jackals, the real fauna of the Judean waste. And the angels minister, not before the testing, not during it, but after. Grace arrives in the aftermath. The beloved Son endures the desert as a human being endures it, hungry, tempted, exposed, and receives care not as a reward, but as the Father's tenderness meeting human need. Luke closes the scene with a detail that chills. Απέστη απ' αυτού άχρη καιρού. He departed from him until an opportune time. The tempter does not vanish. He waits. The wilderness is not the last testing, it is the first. The opportune time will come, in Gethsemane, at the cross, in the cry, my God, why have you forsaken me?" The same conditional will return. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross. The wilderness stands as the pattern. The Son who was named Beloved will be tested again and again, and each time he will stand not by manufacturing proof or seizing power, but by trusting the Father's word. Return to the movement. The Spirit drove. He fasted, he was tempted, he stood. He returned in the power of the Spirit to Galilee. At the Jordan, delight was spoken before work was named. In the wilderness, that delight was tested before work began. The Son who was named Beloved did not use his sonship to escape hunger, to force proof, or to seize power. He received his vocation as gift and carried it as trust. The work will come. It will flow from a delight no work could earn, and from a faithfulness no temptation could break.